39, Whoa Nelly with an exclamation point. 51, Crash Smash 'em. 57, Ruby Rough and Tumble. 6, Razor Wreckers. 81, Bad Mommy. And rounding it out, 87, I'll Smash Ya.
And to introduce our illustrious officials for this contest this morning, we've got Snarkomedes, Loki Doki, Locomotive, Sheer Malice, Masquerade, Rabid Derby Fan, Sawed Off, Darby O'Kill, Ren Stoked. Ren Stoked. Thank you so much. I looked at that. I was like, oh, I'm going to butcher this. It's Ren Stoked. Justice Deliver. Admiral Mayhem. Vanilla Vice. PK Blitty. PM Demon. Julius Caesar. Il Presidente. And Dread Homunculi.
Dread
Homunculi. Oh, my. It is way too early for this, Luce. Oh, my poor
It's
brain.
day 3. It's bout number 1. It's like the home stretch, but not really, because there's still a whole nother day ahead of us of roller derby. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited.
It's gonna be a good one.
I've been up a little bit too early because I went and had some breakfast with some family that I have that's in town. So I'm delightfully full on delicious breakfast burrito things. So I'm going to try really hard not to take a nap. So if you hear snoring out there in the internet's world, I'm just going to apologize now because I'm full and happy.
So if you do hear that snoring, go ahead and use hashtag BigO2018 to get at us and hashtag poke loose.
Yep.
And loose shall be poked.
I'm going to have a black and blue mark on my arm, aren't I? Because there's going to be like 700, like, wake her up, she's snoring again.
I'll use the blunt part of the pen, don't worry. So taking a look at how these teams have performed throughout the weekend, Jet City on Friday took on Tucson, fell to them 71-258. Then on Saturday took on Calgary, much closer game there, but they fell 221-296. So 0-2 for Big O 2018. They are going to be looking for their first win here. Bear City has played 3 games so far this weekend. One on Friday where they played Calgary and won 322-184. And then on Saturday they played their 2 games. First one at 10 a.m. Eastern, falling to Sacramento 141-192. And then playing again at 4 p.m., falling to Tucson 153-166.
So this is going to be really interesting. They both have a loss this weekend to Tucson. Bear City... it was a difference of 13 points versus the difference of 187 or so when Jet City played them. So it'll be interesting to see what the end point differential between these two teams ends up being.
Yeah, definitely. Now, while you can measure a great many things against Tucson, but the precise skill and strategery, if you will, of these two teams, not one of them. So all 3 teams having different play styles. We'll see how this matchup happens between Jet City and Bear. Taking a look at the current WFTDA rankings, Bear is 33, Jet is 49, but we are 5 seconds away from getting into the action. Who do we have down there on the track, Luce?
Well, for the Jet City Bombers in blue, we've got... I believe that is I'll Smash Ya with the star. Not that really stops the Berlin Bombshells, because that is number 25, Mia Missile, who is your lead jammer. Already working her way through that pack, picks up a couple points, calling it off.
And a very quick call off on the outside, picking up a single point. Bear now on the board with 1, Jet 0. So we'll have another quick lineup here. Going to see Jane Von Payne wearing the star for Bear City in the red. Going up against number 39 for Jet City in the blue. That's Whoa Nelly!
Exclamation point. I love that she's got the exclamation point.
It's key.
Very.
Jane Von Payne round through the inside, taking the open lane. Takes lead jam for Bear City.
Doesn't even hit that pivot line and says that lead jammer status.
So Whoa Nelly will break out shortly thereafter. Going to be putting on the pressure as the pack enters turn 2, forcing the call off. Or 3 points picked up on that jam for Berlin Bombshells.
0 for the Bombers. So 2 jams in, 4-0.
Lining up for the next jam, number 180, Miss Sophie for Berlin Bombshells.
Going up against Invitational for the Bombers. Bombers versus Bombshells.
Things are getting explosive already here in Jam 3. Berlin Bombshells, Miss Zoffie takes lead jam, third one in a row for them. Once again, Invitational out right behind her. Jet City will lose their blocker Bombshell to the box as the jam is called. Another quick full 4 points up for Berlin, and with that the Jet City Bombers are now on the scoreboard with 2. Score is now 8-2 in favor of Bear.
You know, three jams thus far. The Berlin Bombshells. I'm going to get those confused. Bombers versus Bombshells. I'm going to try really hard not to. I'm going to apologize in advance for that. But coming to the line, we've got Mary Contrary for the Bombers going up against Mia Missile. And Mia Missile is through first. Lead jammer, Mary Contrary right on her heels. Mia calls it off with a little smile on her face and says hi to Mary in the meantime.
Absolutely no time wasted calling off that jam as they will continue to keep the Jet City pivot Bombshell in the penalty box. So slightly diminished pack strength for Jet. Bear City full strength as they throw up Jane Von Payne to jam.
And that looks like that will be Isla Smasha for the Bombers.
It is indeed Jane Von Payne pushing away at the front of the pack. This may be the longest we've gone before a lead jammer has been declared, but she gets out inside of turn 2. Lead jam goes to Jane Von Payne and the Bear City Berlin Bombshells.
That took Jane 12 whole seconds, which in reality is not a whole lot, but when you've had lead jammer status being assessed within the first 2 or 3 seconds of the last few jams, that seems almost like a lifetime.
Speaking of things that are taking longer than they have before for this game, Ala Smashia, jammer for the Jet City Bombers, not yet out of the pack. Still working on that initial at the back of the pack, trying to push through the tripod for Berlin. In the meantime, Jane Von Payne through for a Grand Slam Berlin.
And we have a star pass for the Bombers. New jammer is number 16, Bombshell. So we've Bombshell on the Bombers going up against the Bombshells.
Oh, my poor brain.
These teams are trying to kill us. That's my only decision.
Jane Von Payne out for another 4 points, but right behind her is Bombshell. That jam not gonna be called. Yes, is called. So that'll be the longest jam we've had so far in this game.
14 to 4. So we've got 22-6 at this point in time for the score. 22 Bombshells, 6 Bombers.
Going down to the jammer line, we'll see Miss Zolfi jamming for Bear City in red, going up against Ivaderci for Jet City in blue. Bear City with a single blocker in the box. Jet City with a full contingent of their own. And Ivaderci through to take the first lead jam for the Bombers. Miss Sophie hot on her heels, really picking up the speed as the pack rounds turn 2. Around the outside, Ivaderci forced to the outside by number 109, Amazon. Going to force to call off the jam. 3 points picked up for Berlin. Waiting for score confirmation for Jet City.
0 points for Jet City. A little bit of a conference needed with that outside pack ref. Just making sure everybody saw the same thing.
As we are all at least assumedly watching the same reality right now, so that will be 0 points for Jet. Lining up for this next jam, each team with a blocker in the box. We'll see number 39, whoa, Nelly, jamming for the Jet City Bombers. Going against number 25 for Berlin, Mia Missile. Mia Missile around the outside of turn 1 does take lead jam. Several blockers reporting to the box. 2 for Jet City, 1 for Berlin. It'll be Chicklets Rock and number 6, Razor Wrecker for Jet City.
Meanwhile, we do have a star pass. Bad Mommy is now the jammer for the Bombers.
It's like a big hit on the outside of the second straightaway. Take a moment to make sure our skaters are all right. That will end the jam early. 5 points up for Bear City, 0 for Jet.
Bomber skater is able to get up and leave the track under her own power.
Looks like that is Sia Wouldn't Want to Be taking a visit to our medics, to whom we are, of course, eternally grateful, without whom we couldn't do this thing called roller derby.
Literally, it is in the rules. If you don't have medics, you can't roller derby.
It's a good rule. I like it.
It is. It really is.
So we are lining up for this next jam, still in the midst of this official timeout. Taking a look at the penalty box, we've got 2 blockers in the box for Jet City, number 3 and number 6. They are both standing, so they'll be back in the action quite shortly. Looking for the Bear City side, they have their pivot in the box. Number 2, Master Blaster, also standing, going to be back in the action shortly. However, of particular note, we've got the Bear City Jammer in the box. I believe that was Mia Missile. So she is sitting. This will be a power start for Jet City and number 03, Mary Contrary.
It looks like we've got some officials, some captains happening, some things going on in the middle of the track, things being discussed.
They will be keeping it secret. They will be keeping it safe, because they certainly aren't telling us. And one way to ensure something is neither secret nor safe is to tell an announcer, because we just keep talking. So, nope. All right, looked like we were going to have another Bear City skater reporting the box, but that's just the captain for Bear City. Catherine Beaterbones going over, talking a little bit to her teammates. And we are ready to get back into the action, Liz.
I think we are. Got some micro packs happening out there with that 5 seconds. And that is Mary Contrary, who is jamming through, and lead jammer status has been assessed. All blockers have left the penalty box, which does just leave Mia Missile, jammer of note for the Berlin Bombshells.
Mia with a scant few seconds remaining on her penalty. There she goes back into the action. Mary Contrary with 1 blocker to beat does get a little accidental nudge from Catherine Beaterbones to thrust her out through the pack. That'll be 5 points. Grand slam up for the Bombers. And Mia Missile firing through that pack does complete that initial. Redons the star, going to force the call off by Mary Contrary. 0 points for Berlin. Confirmation with the outside pack ref looking for the score for the Jet City Bombers. And additional OPR conversations happening.
OPR inside, OPR outside.
It will be a confirmed 0 points on that last pass for Jet City. A total of 5 points for the jam, bringing the score to 30-11 in favor of Bear, and we are into the next jam.
With that, we've got Isla Smashia going on, wearing that star for the Jet City Bombers. But we also have lead jammer status going to Jane Van Payne for the Berlin Bombshells.
Jane Von Payne pushing her way through the tripod for Bombers at the back of the pack. Whoa, juke to the outside, juking now to the in, not finding any daylight. Pack getting a bit of a scrum action happening in turn 1 as Berlin loses a block into the box.
That is a big pack over there, and they are not moving very quickly at this point. That is some strong defense that is going on. Strong defense, a little bit of offense going. Where do I do? What do I do? Where am I going?
So Jane Von Payne will get out of the pack just as yep, and she'll call off the jam right behind Ala Smasha. 5 points up for Berlin, 0 Jet. I'd like to remind everybody to use that hashtag BigO2018 in your tournament posts this weekend as the official hashtag of the tournament this year. Make sure you use that hashtag lest the Internet Hashtag Authority come for you.
Please feel free to take pictures of your animals watching roller derby. I'd love to see those. On the line, we've got Eva Derci for the Jet City Bombers. Eva, as I announce her, works her way through, picks up lead jammer status. But Miss Zafi is real, just right there, close on her heels. Miss Zafi picks up 2 points, even though Eva Derci, 3 points. There we go. I didn't see that thumb. Even as Eva Derci worked her way through, called it off. Unfortunately, did not put any on the board for the Bombers.
With this next jam, we will start with 2 blockers in the box for Jet City. Their pivot in the box for Bear City. Mia Missile on the line for the Bear City Bombshells in red. And number 39, whoa, Nelly, for the Jet City Bombers in blue. Whoa, Nelly through to take lead jam for the Jet City Bombers. Mia Missile with 1 blocker to beat on the second straightaway. She will get through as the penalty box empties. Now just a single blocker in the box for the Bombers. That's Bad Mommy. Jam will be called. Single point up for Jet City, holding Berlin down to 0. Bad Mommy now standing in the box, but will so slightly diminished pack start for Jet City.
Just over 19 minutes remain in this first half. We've got a score of 38-12. That is 38 for the Bear City Berlin Bombshells to Jet City Bombers 12.
Jane Von Payne going up against Mary Contrary. 0-3 versus 0-3-0. That's not confusing in the least. Ooh, Bear City with 2 blockers reporting in the box as Jane Von Payne gets out to take lead jam.
Jet City has the pivot reporting for the box. Mary Contrary has been able to clear the pack. Will be point scoring eligible just in time for a power jam as we see Jane Von Payne report to the penalty box for, I believe it was a forearm penalty that was assessed. Mary Contrary using that to her advantage, picked up 5 points, working her way through that pack, attempting to pick up another 5.
This complicated slightly as the penalty box is now empty of blockers. Jane Von Payne standing in the box ready to get back into the action as Mary Contrary pushing against the tripod at the front of the pack. Getting a little bit of help from her pivot. All right, that is number 22, Terror Face-Off pivot for Jet City Bombers. Jane Von Payne back in the action now with 1 blocker to beat at the front of the pack. She will get through completing that initial. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not her initial. That is 4-point pass.
But
and a grand slam up from Mary Contrary.
Mary finally able to pick up those points. She had just a heck of a time coming up against that defensive wall that Berlin had put forward.
Jane Von Payne picking up another penalty on the outside of turn 3. This will continue or bring up a second power jam in this one for Mary Contrary as the jam timer expires. 3 points on that last pass before heading to the penalty box for Jane Von Payne. No points on that next pass. So grand total of 14 points for Jet to Bears 7, bringing our score to Bear City 45, Jet City 26. We've got another power start here for Jet City.
We have a timeout first. Looks like this is a team timeout.
And
for
that'll be for Jet.
Jet City. While we have this team timeout going on, I just want to remind everyone, if you like roller derby, and I know I do, you are going to be excited with the 2018 WFTDA International Playoffs. Tickets for those playoffs go on sale June. That is next month already. June 2018. Whew. You can get all of your ticket information for not only the international WFTDA playoffs, but the new WFTDA Continental Cups on WFTDA.com/tickets. You can also check out WFTDA.com/tournaments for all of your tournament information needs. Basically, just go visit WFTDA.com.
They got the infos you need.
They have so much infos.
And we are back into the action. Number 87, Alla Smasha wears the star for Jet City. Jane Von Payne, jammer for Bear, starting from the penalty box. Alla Smasha breaks through on the outside. Does she stay in? She does. Lead jam going to the Jet City Bombers.
That was one skate outside line when you never really know if you stay in or not. But she is good to go. Works her way past two blockers to finish. Does so and picks up 5 points for Alla Smasha.
Jane Von Payne now at the front of the pack, has a full blocking force to deal with, but up. Jet will lose their pivot number 16, Bombshell, to the box. Jane Von Payne now with 2 blockers to beat as they enter turn 4. She will break through completing that initial pass. Alla Smasha will call off the jam before any points can go up on the board for Bear. 2 points picked up that last pass, so a 7-point jam for Jet. Closing up the score gap. Now only 10 points separating these teams as Bear City at 45, Jet City 35.
This is the kind of roller derby I like to see.
Oh, yes, indeed. Started off with Bear in a bit of a tear for that lead, but Jet City seemed to wake up, getting a little bit more of an idea of how to deal with these walls for Bear. And into this next jam, 2 blockers down for Jet, 1 down for Bear. Out to take lead jam for the Berlin Bombshells. That's going to be number 180, Miss Sophie.
Whoa, Nelly jamming for Jet City Bombers. Miss Zoffie able to get through, picked up 5 points. Miss Zoffie's making her way to the pack.
And we have a star pass for Jet City. Star has been passed over to number 16, Bombshell.
Miss Zoffie able to pick up 4 points, coming to the back of the pack, goes down on her knees a little bit.
Oh.
Is assessed a back block? No.
Oh, that sign has changed. I don't know what it means anymore.
So, not necessarily something that the Bear City wants to see is another jammer penalty. However, this, definitely good opportunity for Bombshell, who is the jammer for the Bombers, to take use of that, put up 5 points, and with that, it's slowly closing that gap. Another 5 points on the board for the Jet City Bombers.
Mrs. Sophie just flying out of the penalty box, going around Bombshell as she engages the back of the pack. Of course, this jam will go for the full 2 minutes. A back block. Oh, back block penalty assessed against Mrs. Sophie. Back to the penalty box she will go, extending this power jam for the Jet City Bombers and Bombshell. Bombshell through for a grand slam. Total of 24 points up so far for this jam.
And with that, we do have a lead change. So, those of you at home cheering for Jet City, raise your glass of water, coffee, whatever you're drinking, and take a sip for the lead change.
So that jam will come to a conclusion. An official review called for by Bear, likely looking to roll back one of the 2 penalties assessed against their jammer, Miss Sophie, for that last jam. I'll bring you that information as soon as it is delivered to us. Currently Currently, Miss Zoffie, the only skater in the box.
Bear City Bombshells, what is it, last 2-3 jams, they have had a total of 4 jammer penalties. And well, to be quite frank, I mean the score reflects it. They had a good sized lead established with those 30-second to back penalties and whatnot. That gave Jet City that opportunity to pick up points after points after points, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Yes, indeed. Hopefully, Bear City taking this opportunity. Yep, looking over at the bench, there's quite a bit of conversation happening over there. Like you're saying, like, okay, maybe watching the penalties now.
Yep. Something that, as bench staff always need to be cognizant of, okay, well, what are you doing? What can we change? How can we flip things up? How do we take care of business, but keep our jammers on the track, because jammers are the ones that score the points. We want them out there.
So it looks like officials have come to a decision. They are communicating that to the captains and coaches at this moment. We'll bring you that update as soon as we receive it. So it sounds like it was the low block that they were challenging for that last jam from Miss Zoffie. However, the contact was found to have occurred. The call stands, and Bear City loses their official review.
Official review for the first half.
Invitational in the power start, jamming for the Jet City Bombers. Full complement of blockers for both teams. Miss Zoffie now standing in the box. Will be back in the action shortly.
Invitational coming up against those last couple of blockers in red. 109. That is Peanut Butter Panic. Number 2, I believe that's Master Blaster. They are just giving her the business.
Jane Von Payne out first to take lead jam for Bear City. Invitational now through as well on her initial pass. Jane Von Payne going to get through on that inside line, picks up 4 points. Invitational through shortly behind her, picking up 4 of her own. And once again, that penalty box getting quite a bit of attention this jam. Amazon going to the box for Bear City, now standing, getting ready, back into the action. Likewise, Bad Mommy now back in the action for Jet City. And for Jet City, Razor Wrecker also in the box, now joined by number 3, Chicklets Rock.
Miss Zoffie finds a big old hole on that inside line, uses it, picks up 5 points.
Miss Zoffie now at the front, 2 blockers to beat. Jet City blockers up there doing a great job, just dancing back and forth, holding back soft with just the 2 blockers at the front. And she does now break out. It's getting a sign from the bench to call off the jam. Does now call it off after picking up those 5 points. Big jam for Bear City, bringing them back into the lead. 18 points to 9 that jam. Now 1 point separating these teams. Bear City 72, Jet City 71. As I believe we have 11 minutes.
Looks like, yep, we've got 10 minutes and 50 some odd seconds remaining now.
Fantastic.
At least for this first half.
Only 1 blocker in the box. We've got that blocker for Jet City, number 25, Angelica De La Morte. Jamming, we've got number 03, Mary Contrary for Jet City Bombers, and taking lead jam for the Berlin Bombshells. That's number 25, Mia Missile.
A little bit of a hop right over that turn. Mia picks up 4 points, calls it off before Mary Contrary was able to pick up anything. Looks like Mary Contrary is actually reporting to the penalty box as well. So this is going to be a power jam start for Jane Von Payne of the Bombshells.
So Jet City down a blocker. Angelica De La Morte still in the box, though standing will be running back into the pack post-haste. However, Jane Von Payne only 3 blockers to beat. Now 2 as Jet loses another blocker to the box. Nice recycle just a moment ago by Jet City, forcing Jane Von Payne to the back. She will work her way back up to the front. Oh,
that was
the high block penalty.
That was Chiclet's Rock that actually had the nice hit to the outside there, causing Jane Von Payne to have to recycle.
So I don't believe Jane picked up lead jam before picking up that block, so lead jam still available for Mary Contrary as she re-enters the pack.
Jane Von Payne in the penalty box, and with that, Mary Contrary does pick up lead jammer status for Jet City Bombers.
Jane Von Payne back on the track. Mary Contrary dealing with the 3 blockers just kind of forming a blocking amoeba, just like trading places in there in ways that I do not often see. But that's going to be a grand slam as Mary Contrary gets through the pack. Penalty box now empty, both teams at full strength.
Mary Contrary coming up, running into that wall that consists of 109 Amazon and 114 Freddie Mercury. Little bounce here, little bounce there, but does make her way through. Picks up 4 points for the Bombers.
Star pass for Bear City. Star now donned by the pivot Peanut Butter Panic. And she's through the pack. 4 points for Berlin Bombshells. Mary Contrary going to call off the jam, picking up 3 points on that pass. Grand total of 12 for Jet City. Bear at 4. And loose, we have another lead change.
Lead change.
Bear City at 80. Jet City now leading by 3 points at 83 as we enter the final minutes of this half. Angelica De La Morte starting from the box for Jet City as a blocker. Otherwise, penalty box empty. Miss Sophie jamming for Bear City in red, going up against, I believe that is Whoa Nelly for Jet City Bombers in blue. It is indeed. Whoa Nelly up at the front of the pack. Does get through to take lead jam for the Bombers. As a quick star pass follows for the Berlin Bombshells. Number 2 Master Blaster. However, looks like it may not have been legal. It was, no, I see. So off to the penalty box goes former jammer, once again current jammer, Miss Sophie for Berlin Bombshells.
Legal procedure, it looked like, was being assessed there. Not an official, not on the track. Even I couldn't totally see what was going on. I wonder, though, because most often, I think, from what I have seen, is it's you need to hand it, you can't take it.
Right.
Which is a very slim distinction in my brain, so it's... Yeah.
The nuances of roller derby. But so this will mean a power start for Jet City going into this next jam.
Isla Smasha on the line for Jet City.
Miss Sophie starting from the box. And Jet City with a single blocker in the box. That's number 13, the Mexorcist. Isla Smasha getting to the front of the pack now with 2 Bear City blockers to beat. Down but not knocked outside. As Miss Sophie now back in the action. And there we go. Lead jam assessed to Isla Smasha for Jet City Bombers. Freddie Mercury reporting to the box for the Berlin Bombshells.
The pivot for the Bombers. Number 16, that is Bombshell, had some good hits there, causing Miss Zoffi to have to go to the outside, recycle, go to the outside, recycle. Isla Smasha calls it off.
Can confirm that Berlin Bombshell's not picking up any points on that last pass. Grand slam up for Isla Smasha. Team timeout called for by Berlin. The Big O is brought to you in part by the acclaimed Rydell Solaris. Solaris, the performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing.
Every time I hear that, I expect to see like that more you know star kind of go da 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 as it just sort of arches across like the top of our heads.
Solaris.
The more you know.
So, taking a moment with this team timeout to look and talk about penalties.
Whew.
So, we have seen a lot of action in the penalty box this game. They seem to be spreading out penalties fairly evenly between team members. Currently, number 180 for Bear City, Miss Zoffi at 4. Also at 4 for Bear City is 247, Catherine Beaterbones. Over on the side of Jet City, number 81 with 4, Bad Mommy. Everybody else with 3 or 2. So no major penalty trouble happening yet as we get closer and closer to the second half. But the penalties, especially the jammer penalties, really not doing Berlin any favors here. As you were saying earlier, likely what has caused them to fall behind in this game.
I mean, when your jammer's not on the track, you can't score points.
Again, it's the nuances of Derby. But we are back into the action. Mary Contrary jamming for Jet City Bombers. She is through to take lead jam. Shukin on the outside, right behind her, her jamming opponent for Berlin, number 25, Mia Missile.
Mary Contrary, hop, skip, and a jump, picks up, looks like 4 points, calls it off. Keeping the Berlin Bombshells scoreless, slowly increasing that lead, and with that, the Bombers cross that century mark. 80 points right now for the Berlin Bombshells to the 101 for the Jet City Bombers. We've got, that looks like Eva Derchi on the line. I can't tell if it's a 0 or a 6. It looks like a 0.
Yep, that is indeed Eva Derchi. Jammer up for Bear City is 166. Sabi Smackdown, the first time we've seen her jam this morning. She will make her way up to the front of the pack. Forced to the outside by the pivot for Jet City. That's number 16, Bombshell.
I knew I saw that number out there.
Likewise recycled Eva Derchi towards the back of the pack now. Whoa, taking a nice hit to the outside from the Berlin pivot, number 2, Master Blaster. Who runs Derby Town? Master Blaster run Derby Town.
Good hit there on the inside. Oh, a little bit of a direction of play.
Sabi Smackdown taking lead jam for the Berlin Bombshells.
As she comes around turn 3 with just a giant smile on her face.
Well, that 100% lead jammer percentage feels pretty good, Luce. Pretty good. Each team with a blocker in the box. Number 190 for Berlin, Peanut Butter Panic. Number 25 for Jet City, Angelica De La Morte. 4-point scoring pass for Sabi Smackdown as Eva Derchi forced to the outside. Going to recycle to the back of the pack. Nice rotational blocking for the tri-wall for Jet City. I'm really enjoying Jet City's rotational blocking. They're doing a great job of just like putting each other where they need to be, holding back the Bear City jammers as long as they can.
I love the fact that they basically make themselves into a giant tornado.
Yeah, there we go.
And they just literally twirl around, and they're like, nope, 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 you can't go that way.
Trinado. Like the Trinado. Hashtag Trinado here at hashtag Big O 2018.
Hashtag copy written by Loose Change. Don't try to take it. It's ours now.
So we have a star pass happening over for Jet, over to the pivot, number 16, Bombshell, though right at the end of that jam, she will pick up a track cut penalty.
And there is an official review being asked for by the Jet City Bombers. I have a sneaking suspicion that it could potentially be in regards to that jammer penalty call. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Oh, you're crazy. But I think you're right.
Oh, well. I mean, you're not the first to tell me I'm right, nor the first to tell me I'm crazy, so I'll take it.
Shout out to another Big O 2018 sponsor. Hit This Derby Gear has everything you need to get rolling, from skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all of your derby needs. Before you hit the track, I'd encourage you to hit this.
So, rumor has it that Hit This is actually a local. I want to say somebody told me it was in Salem. Like an actual local derby brick and mortar store for the delightful folks in the Pacific Northwest.
That's pretty fantastic.
I know. Tell me if I'm wrong, friends. Let me know. I'm often wrong. I might have just been hallucinating that someone told me that. After a couple days of just nonstop talking, your brain does strange things. You can attest to that, Rich.
Oh, yes. Something about watching folks go round and round in a circle turns your
It's
brain
so
into a
hypnotizing.
delightful mush, like the best mush, really. So our zebras huddling in the middle of the pack, trying to figure out what the results of this review will be. Looks like it has been decided as Admiral Mayhem delivering the news to our coaching staffs at the center of the track. We'll be bringing us that update shortly. All right.
Oh. Hey, look at
Bombshell released from the box with a happy little skip.
Oh, that was not just a skip. That was a straight up happy dance.
No.
When she got the official indication from the official.
So unfortunately, I was unable to hear the finer details of what specifically was being reviewed, but clearly was at the track cut penalties. But the details around that, little hazy, but point is, penalty rescinded, and Jet City will maintain their official review for this last, can we check our mirror to get by the wrinkle?
Under 2 minutes?
Under 2 minutes, all right. So going into what may be the last jam of this half. Oh, number 87, Alla Smasher, wearing the star for the Bombers, taking a big hip check to the outside.
By Master Blaster.
Oh, Master Blaster just blasting to the outside. We've got number 180, Miss Sophie, out to take lead jam for the Bombshells. It's true what they say, you cannot hassle the Zoff. She will get through. I mean, you can hassle her, but it's not going to go well for you. Through for 4-point scoring pass, Miss Sophie. Penalty box now empty for both teams. 5-on-5 on the flat track. Soft through again, grand slam as the pivot for the Berlin Bombshells reports to the penalty box. Got to have it warm somehow.
I wonder what kind of cookies that they're giving away there. Because there's been a lot of people that have been visiting the penalty box.
God, now I want to get a penalty. So Alla Smasha now through, picking up 4 points of her own. Forearm assessed against the pivot for Jet City. That's number 22, Terror Faceoff. Alla Smasha through for another 4 points.
Miss Zoffie coming up against that Trinado of Ivederci, the Mexorcist, and Champagne.
Soft round for a grand slam. Right behind her after her own grand slam is going to be Alla Smasha. Bit of a blocker or pivot do-si-do as number 22 is released for Jet City, and number 2, Master Blaster, reports to the box for Bear. Jam will be called. Very close jam. Looks like Jet City 13, Bear City 14. Score, Bear City 105, Jet City 116 as we go into the half. Oh boy, Luce, what contest we have on our hands here.
I mean, if you're not awake, you are.
Peter Bones. Over on the side of the Jet City Bombers, only a single skater with 4 points. That's going to be number 81, Bad Mommy. Everybody else on both sides with 3 or fewer. So no major penalty troubles yet, but as we've seen all game long, we have not had the penalty box fully empty for more than maybe a jam and a half.
Yes, there's. I would be very interested to see what the paperwork for the officials that are in the penalty box looks like, because as someone who used to be a official, there's a lot of space that they give you on each of those pages, but there was also a lot of people going in and out.
So to start the second half, we will see number 2, the pivot for Bear City, Master Blaster, starting from the box. Otherwise, a full contingent of blockers and jammers on the track. See Mia Missile lining up wearing the star for Bear City in red, going up against number 10, Invitational for Jet City in blue. Ava getting her jam on the line. It's important to get your jam on before you get your jam on.
I mean, you know, it really is. Rolling whistle means that we are just about to get back to it. More roller derby, more roller derby.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. We are back into the action. Mia Missile firing straight into the Jet City wall. Not managing to fire away through yet. Now at the front of the pack, though, with only 3 blockers to beat. Around the outside, Ava Derchi through to take lead jam for the Bombers. Whistles are a-blowing, but Mia Missile is clear, finishing her initial pass, picking up 4 points. Ava will call off the jam. Looks like we have a blocker from each team reporting to the box. The Mexorcist for Jet City, and Hannah Satana for the Berlin Bombshells. So we will see Jane Van Payne taking to the line for the Bombshells.
And whoa, Nelly for the Jet City Bombers.
Well, Nelly testing that inside line, but the tripod of Bear City says nope. And the back block that Woe Nelly picks up says double nope. To the penalty box she goes. Power jam Jane Van Payne as she gets through to take lead jam for the Bombshells.
Jane Van Payne clears that first blue blocker. Able to clear those final others. Picks up 5 points.
Pivot for Jet City, getting goaded at the back. That's Terror face-off. Doing what she can as Jane Van Payne tries to try to get around her own wall to knock her to the inside, knock her to the outside. Not seeing a lot of fortune with that. Jane Van Payne will get through. That's another grand slam up for the Bombshells. Currently very close jam. Woe Nelly now back on the track. Comes around completing that initial. Penalty box empty for a moment, but only for a moment as the Mexorcist reports back to the box for Jet City. Jam will be called. 4 points on that pass, holding Jet City scoreless and loose. We've got another lead change. 14-point jam for Bear. That'll bring the score up to Bear 121. Jet City just 1 point behind at 120.
I am prepared this time. I grabbed my bottle of water.
Oh, wise decision, my friend. So we are getting into this next jam. Jet City down a blocker. Bear City at full strength, going up Mary Contrary to jam for Jet City in blue, going up against Miss Sophie for Bear City in red.
Matchup we've seen before, and just like that, Mary Contrary is through, and your lead jammer for Jet City Bombers. Miss Sophie still stuck behind those last couple of blockers, but does make her way through.
Jam does get called before Miss Sophie can get any points on the board. 3 points up for Mary Contrary, meaning another lead change.
This is good roller derby.
This a fantastic way to start off our Sunday here at Big O 2018. The Mexorcists now standing in the box, so a very quick jam we just saw. We'll see number 166, Sabi Smackdown, wearing the star for Bear City.
And Isla Smasha for the Jet City Bombers. Both sort of go a little to the inside, then towards the middle, but it is Bear City. That is Sabi Smackdown. Second time she has jammed, and she is 2 for 2 with her lead jammer status that she's received thus far in this bout.
Great toe stop work up the inside line around turn 1 to get through and pick up that grand slam. Just Bear City now tearing the walls of Jet City asunder. 5 more points up for Sabi Smackdown. Ala Smasha has yet to get through the pack. Star pass completed over to the Jet City pivot. That's number 22, Terror Faceoff. However, picking up a penalty on her way out of the box, or out of the way of the pack to the box. Excuse me. So, power jam now for Bear City. Sabi Smackdown with another grand slam. Big jam here for Bear City. Terror Faceoff standing in the box, ready to get back into the action. Sabi opting to not freeze her in the box there.
Sabi's going, I want more points. And because she does, she picks up another 5. For right now, we're looking at a total of 25, and we still have 25 seconds left on the jam clock.
Sabi just again with great maneuverability around turn 2, just weaves in and out between the Jet City blockers. 5 more points. Penalty box now empty for both teams.
You just had to say it, didn't you?
I did, but I knew it. Haha, we were going to get to the end of the jam. We have an empty penalty box. 5 points on that last jam for Sabi.
And that is 34 points for Sabi Smackdown. That is the biggest jam that we have seen today, this bout, this morning. Congratulations, Sabi. That is a feat. So you did good.
Sabi now putting Bear City into a solid lead, one of the bigger leads we've seen all the game, 155 to 123 as we get into this next jam. Both teams at full strength. Bear taking a fast lead jam with Mia Missile. We've got Eva Derchi right on her heels. Both jammers flying around that track, completing that lap incredibly quickly. Jam will be called 1 point up for Jet, 0 Bear.
Oh, no, 1 each.
1 each. And we have a score wash.
So, yeah, it's technically kind of like they got 0 because, they both got the 1.
Quick lineup. We've got Jane Von Payne jamming for Bear City.
Going up against...
I believe that is Nelly. But no. Yes, it is? Yes, it is. Whoa, Nelly jamming for Jet City. Jane Von Payne pushing up now the Tri-NATO up the front of the pack for Jet City. Will break through it, takes lead jam.
Whoa, Nelly with the star pass to number, maybe?
That is.
Maybe star pass? Was there a star pass? Yes, I think there was.
It was definitely removed from her helmet. The question is, has it been passed over to Tara Faceoff? Waiting for eyes on that. It certainly looks like, yep, she's got that star. The Bear City blockers are focusing her down hard as Jane Von Payne through the pack for a grand slam. Tara Faceoff will emerge from the pack, donning the star, activates her jammer powers. Jane Von Payne around for 4 points, gets the signal from the coach to keep it going, and so it shall be. More whistles flying. Number 25 reporting in the box, Angelica De La Morte for Jet City. That will be her 6th penalty, putting her in danger of fouling out with one more.
And looks like we've got Bear City. That is Hannah Satana, who's just picked up her 6th as well.
Jane Von Payne going head-to-head with number 3, Chicklets Rock, will be let go as Chicklets Rock picks up a penalty. We had like a jam and a half there that was nice and clean, and then now the penalty box is popular again.
It's because you said that there wasn't anybody in the box. It's the announcer's curse. Don't you know that yet?
I'm sorry. I still choose to believe that it's all the cookies that they're handing out that they're just not showing us.
I firmly believe that just out of our eyesight, there's actually like a straight up breakfast buffet. And so the officials are just feeding it to all of the skaters. And that's why they just want to visit the penalty box so much, because they have things like French toast and orange juice and mimosas. Nope, they don't have mimosas. They, you get a mimosa after you're done skating. That's what they have. You have to sign up.
Yeah.
So when you're done skating, you can have one.
Maybe if you get 6 penalties, that earns you a mimosa at the end of the game. Getting back down to the action on the track, Bear City through to take lead jam. That is number 180, Miss Sophie, going up against Mary Contrary for Jet City.
Mary Contrary stuck again behind that just Tri-NATO, consisting of, as per usual, Freedy Mercury. I know Freedy's in there. I can see her. And Master Blaster. What was that? Catherine Beaterbones? No, Amazon. That was what.
So round and around the track we go. Miss Sophie through for another 4-point pass. Mary Contrary through for 4 of her own. Soft weaving through the pack. So I'm not sure what Bear talked about at the half, but in this half they are doing a much better job of managing the walls for Jet City, doing a great job picking them apart, keeping them separated. Perhaps noticing that they had that tendency to do what we have now decided is the Tri-NATO. If they're not bracing each other, it's easier to pick those walls apart.
Yeah.
We have a team timeout called for by Jet City, going to try to stem the tide, switch the momentum in their favor. A 13-point jam we just saw for Bear City to Jet City's 4. So Bear City, all of a sudden, in just the first 10 minutes of the second half, pulling away 62-point lead, 192 to 130. Clock is frozen at 19 minutes and 16 seconds remaining to play.
You know, when you're going into halftime and you've got, a single-digit point differential, what is it that you talk about during your 10-minute halftime to recommit, reinvigorate, re-energize your team to come out and suddenly just have this streak of points to be able to get you that 60-point plus differential?
Well, I wish I could tell you. Perhaps we'll find out.
Weren't you a fly on the wall?
Post-game interview. We'll be going after this game down to PR Mageddon and his interviewee of choice. With that, our team timeout has expired. I hesitate to say this, but the penalty box is empty.
You're never going to learn, are you?
We are going to see. I apologize to both of these teams. Sabi Smackdown, seeing if she can keep up that 100% lead jammer percentage.
And Isla Smash Ya out there.
And Sabi will do it. Through for lead jam as Isla Smash Ya, my apologies, knocked to the inside, forced to recycle to the back. Now knocked to the outside. Nice hit there by number 190, Peanut Butter Panic. Sabi round, beating that last blocker in turn 1, 5 points up in the air.
A little bit of a pile up there on the outside of the jammer line.
Forearm penalty assessed against number 713 for Bear City. That's Christy Huckafall.
Catherine Beaterbones just giving Isla a hard time. Isla Smasha finally able to work her way through the pack, so she is coming up into point scoring position.
Next was just taking a seat in the box. That'll be her 5th penalty for Jet City. Around the outside goes Sabi Smackdown. 4 more points for the Berlin Bombshells.
And we've got a star pass. Your star pass for Jet City is now Bombshell.
Bombshell forced to the outside, will force the call off, picks up 2 points for her troubles. 4 points up for Sabi Smackdown. Another great jam for Bear City and Sabi. 12 points total, bringing their score up to 214 to Jet City's 132.
I mean, we're looking at an almost 80-point differential at this point in time.
Now at the last moment for that last jam, number 57 for Jet City, Ruby Rough and Tumble will be reporting the penalty box. Getting back into the track, we've got Ava Derchi wearing the star for Jet City in blue, going up against Mia Missile for Bear City in the red. Mia through for lead jam. Running up the inside goes Ava Derchi, untouched. Does complete her initial. Mia through for 4 points, going to call off the jam.
Mia picks up her 4, calls it off, keeping Jet City Bombers scoreless. How many jams has it been since they've had a score?
That is a fantastic question. Unfortunately, I have not been keeping track.
Where's my producer? Give me my information, invisible producer. Hey, you out there in the internet land, let us know. Use the hashtag BigO2018. Help an announcer out. I'll buy you a cookie.
Assuming there are any left in the penalty box. Jane Von Payne wearing the star for Bear City, going up against Whoa Nelly for Jet City.
Jane Von Payne got 2 blockers to beat. Pushing, pushing, pushing. Some good bridging happening out there at the front. That is the last one to beat number 3, Chicklets Rock. And Jane is lead jammer for the Berlin Bombshells.
A big hit on number 2, Master Blaster, forcing her to the outside. Looks like the perpetrator of that hit will pick up a penalty for that. That is number 57, Ruby Rough and Tumble. Whoa Nelly emerges from the pack, completing that initial. Jane Von Payne, 2 to beat in the second straightaway, will call off the jam, picks up 4 points. So Bear City, all of a sudden, just really finding their ground here. Almost 100 points up all of a sudden, 222 to 132, so 90 points to be exact.
So, I mean, this would definitely be considered a hit it and quit it roller derby. You know, they're getting points, they're calling it off before anybody else can. It's just a little bit slower hit it and quit it roller derby action happening.
So Miss Sophie jamming for Bear City.
With Mary Contrary for Jet City.
Is off through to claim lead jam.
Mary stuck behind that wall. of red. Got Master Blaster there. Got Freddie Mercury there.
So a star pass happening on the track for Jet City. Bear well aware of what's going on. Oh, drawing a penalty there. I believe that was a high block penalty for number 81, Bad Mommy.
Not what Jet City wants to see right now, having their jammer in the penalty box.
Also down a blocker. That's number 22, Terror Faceoff. And once again, Bear doing a great job of keeping the Jet City wall separated, preventing them from forming up into that ideal formation that was working so well for them in the first half. 4 points up for Ms. Zoffi. Bad Mommy back on the track around to complete that initial pass. And that will force the call off. So another big jam for Bear City, 20 points to 0, just continuing to push out this lead, taking absolute command over the second half. See Sabi Smackdown wearing the star for Berlin, going up against Isla Smasha for Jet City.
Got full contingent of blockers out there for both teams. When that 5 second, they start that roll back to that pivot line, or jammer line, excuse me. And that is Sabi Smackdown, lead jammer for the Berlin Bombshells.
Nice dodge of the hit from number 16 Bombshell for Jet City, allowing Sabi to get up that outside line, taking the small little apex leap, taking 5 points for Bear City. Again on the outside, just what amazing footwork for Sabi Smackdown. Just dancing on the inside line, jumping over to the inside to get around the Jet City blockers.
Getting some cheers from her teammates as she's coming around turn 4, puts her hands up in the air.
Even with the full 4-wall for Jet City there around turn 1, Sabi finds the hole on the outside, picks up a grand slam, star pass over to Bombshell for the Jet City Bombers. Penalty box empty for a little bit too long as number 190 Peanut Butter Panic reports to the box. That will be her 6th penalty, if I'm not mistaken.
And whew, that looked a little concerning. Sabi Smackdown there does work her way past, picks up another 4 points. There was a brief communication with that ref going, what was that whistle for me? Oh, no? Okay, I'm going to keep skating.
So number 3 for the Jet City Bombers, Chicklets Rock reporting to the penalty box. That will be her 6th penalty.
Sabi Smackdown calls off the jam.
So I want to take a quick moment to just give a note of where we are standing penalty-wise. Over at Jet City, there are 2 skaters with 6. That's number 25 and number 3, Angelica De La Morte and Chicklets Rock, respectively. 2 with 5, number 13 and 80. Yes, that is 81. So the Mexorcist and Bad Mommy over for Berlin. 1 with 6, that's number 666, Hannah Satana. 2 with 5. Getting back into the action as the penalty box empties. Out for quick lead jam. I believe that is Mia Missile. Yes, indeed. Mia Missile takes lead for Berlin. And out from the pack for Jet City, number 10, Ava Derci.
Mia Missile calls it off, leaving Ava Derci scoreless. Mia able to pick up 2 points herself that jam. And we have Whoa Nelly going up against Jane Von Payne. definitely a matchup that we've seen a number of different times at this point.
Five on five at the flat track as we start up this next jam. Whoa, Nelly forcing her way up to the front, pushing through the tripod for Bear City at the front. Now becoming a 4-wall.
Jane Von Payne finding that wall of blue, looking for a crease, looking for a crack, wants to push her way through and just not finding it. And of course, as soon as I say it, she does indeed find it. Gets through is your lead jammer for Berlin.
Whoa,
Meanwhile, Whoa Nelly out as well, not too far behind.
Quick
But-
call off there will prevent any points up for Jet. Only 2 picked up for Bear. One of the smaller jams that we've seen this half.
Smaller and faster.
Shout out to Rydell. You can experience world-class edging with the Radar Halo, available in a full range of hardnesses from 84A all the way up to 103A. There's a Halo for everyone.
We've got an official review happening for Jet City Bombers.
So penalty box currently empty.
Really?
Well, it's important to note now with the official review because they are likely looking for a penalty to be assessed here. So if they win their review, somebody will be in the box.
And then they can blame you since you were the one that brought it up.
I accept that blame.
Woe's the life of an announcer.
So while we are in the waning moments of this last game, I'd like to remind you to stick around here on Track 1 after the game. Not only will we have an interview with P. Armageddon and a skater of his choosing, but following that game, we are going to see VRDL taking on arch rival.
That is going to be exciting. During halftime intermission, there was VRDL was doing a little bit of warming up. So it's always nice to see the teams getting ready, getting limber. Last night we had I had the opportunity to watch the VRDL versus Angel City bout.
Another great game, a matchup we've seen 3 times now at the Big O. Each time VRDL taking the win. And Angel putting up a great fight last night. There was a point at which it was a 9-point game. Eventually, though, VRDL running away with it, taking the win. So it looks like our officials are just wrapping up their review.
Discussions happening, which each coach and captain on the inside of the track.
Remind you, if you need to step away from the stream or if you've got the spare cycles to stream and social media, our social media team here has been working feverishly all weekend long to bring you live tweets and Facebook coverage throughout the event. So check out those social media platforms for all the updates and get in on the action using that hashtag BigO2018. So I did not hear the details of that official review, but yes, indeed, Jet City was looking for a penalty on some Bear City skater. That penalty is not assessed. Official review for Jet is gonzo. We are ready to get back into the action on the track. Full strength are both of these teams. Miss Sophie jamming for Bear.
Crash Smash 'em jamming for Jet City Bombers. First time we are seeing Crash Smash 'em with the star this bout.
Sophie through to take lead jam. Quick star pass over for Jet. That'll be over to the pivot number 81, Bad Mommy. And Sophie through, picks up 4 points on that pass.
Bad Mommy being assessed a track cut penalty. Did not see one of those skaters running back. Missed that. This will be number 6 for Bad Mommy. Also, as the jammer.
Ms. Zoffy through for a grand slam, going to reapproach the pack, round the outside. Now 2 Jet blockers to beat. Dances on the toe stops, but almost gets through, taking a hit from number 25, Angelica De La Muerte. But due to a no pass, no penalty, she will be able to break through. Picks up 4 points on that pass. Bad Mommy back on the track. Miss Zoffy now dealing with that Tri-NATO at the front of the pack for Jet City, doing a great job recycling her, but Jet slowly but surely pushing them outside the zone of engagement. They have to let her go. Grand slam, Miss Zoffy and Berlin Bombshells. Catherine Beaterbones reporting to the box for Bear City. That will be her 6th penalty, or is that 7? It may well be her 7th penalty. We will get confirmation on that in just a moment.
Bad Mommy coming up against that wall of red, getting a little bit of an assist there from her.
That was number 22, Terror Faceoff, opening up that middle lane for Bad Mommy.
And yes, looks like we do have Catherine Beaterbones.
And she was making to look like she was going to leave the bench, but now she's looking like she's going to run back into the jam. So I guess that was her 6th penalty.
We were wrong.
Getting into the action, Sabi Smackdown jamming for Berlin. Up against number 03, Mary Contrary, and there she goes. Catherine Beaterbones back into the action. We are at full strength. And Sabi Smackdown continuing her tear of lead jams, takes lead for Berlin. Mary Contrary does get through. Penalty assessed against Berlin blocker. It's number 47.
That is 247.
Catherine Beaterbones, so right back to the box. That will be her 7th penalty. So Catherine Beaterbones fouling out of this game. She'll be joined in the penalty box by number 57, Ruby Rough and Tumble for Jet. 4-point pass for Bear City, calling off the jam. 3 points picked up by Jet, so a 4-3 jam, bringing our score to Bear City 295, Jet 139 as we enter the last few minutes. Can't see the scoreboard from here. Get confirmation through our magic mirror.
Looks like a 4?
Yes.
Like a 5, like just under 5 minutes remaining.
All right, so number 39, Whoa Nelly, jamming for Jet City.
Up against number 25, Mia Missile.
Jet City's missile defense system failing them as she gets through on turn 1, takes lead jam for Bear City. Well, Nelly knocked to the outside, trying to get a little bit of help from Terror Faceoff.
Mia, oh my goodness, Mia Missile on the outside line, one skate teetering back and forth. Successfully clears that pack and picks up points, comes around and actually picks up another 4 points. Right now sitting at a total of 9 points scored this jam for Mia Missile. Meanwhile, we've got a forearm penalty being assessed to our Jet City bomber. That is Razor Wrecker, who is jamming.
Accepted that star pass from Whoa Nelly. The tripod for Jet City at the front, locking down around Sabi. I'm sorry, that's not Sabi, Mia Missile. So Mia through for a grand slam. Penalty box now empty. 109 Amazon getting up in the business of the Jet City wall, breaking things up, allowing Mia Missile to get through. Now with only one blocker to beat, Terror Faceoff being an absolute terror on the track, but now being terrorized herself by penalties. Heads off to the box. That will be number 5 for her.
Jam called. Mia Missile picked up another 4 points.
Another big jam for Bear City, 24 points to 4. Score now 319 to 143. Bear just running away with this game in the second half.
Jane Von Payne on the line.
Bombshells starting with the star for the Jet City Bombers. Jane Von Payne muscles her way up to the front, gets lead jam for the Berlin Bombshells. Meantime, Bombshell recycled to the back, now getting hugged into that tripod for Berlin. Gonna try to do a little jammer on jammer defense. Isn't able to hold back Jane Von Payne for long and goes right back to struggling against that tripod.
That is Freddie Mercury, 60 Blitz, and Hannah Satana giving Bombshell the what for. And we do have a star pass, so jamming for Jet City Bombers, we now have Isla Smasha.
Jane Von Payne through for 4 points. Isla Smasha trying to get through that wall.
Hit to the inside there. Little bit of a hesitation in getting back up on Isla Smasha's part. But she does and works her way through that outside line. Picks up 4 more for the Bombers.
Jam will be called. We are down to 1 minute left to play. Score currently sitting at Bear City 331, Jet City 147 after a 12-4 jam in favor of Bear. Going into what will likely be the final jam of this game, both teams at full strength. Bear City going to send up number 180, Miss Zoffy, to jam. Going up against number 10, Invitational for Jet City in blue.
And we got some pivot line. Oh,
No,
I was excited for pivot line roller derby. Both jammers coming up against walls. And Jet City's jammer, that is Invitational, reporting to the penalty box. So not only is Miss Zophie the lead jammer, she also has a power jam situation for this potential final jam of this first bout.
Oh, and we are now on the jam clock. Period clock has expired. 5 points up from Miss Zoffie, looking to extend their lead even further before calling off that jam, and why not? No jammer yet on the track for Jet. Invitational just now released from the box. Will be shortly followed by her pivot number 6, Razor Wrecker. Ms. Zoffie pushes her way through, gets those 5 points.
Miss Zoffie following the indication of her bench staff to just keep going, keep going, keep going.
Wise decision as Invitational picking up another jammer penalty will go and sit in the box. Power jam continues for Berlin Bombshells. Up, losing a knee pad shell, or perhaps it's an elbow pad shell, but gear on the track as Ms. Zoffie breaks through, picks up 5 more points for the Bombshells.
Just under 30 seconds remaining on this final jam. 20 seconds on the jam clock now. Looks like we're going to let this run its full 2 minutes.
Miss Zoffie just pushing that tripod outside the zone of engagement. They've got to break off to bridge. The jam will come to its natural 2-minute conclusion. Another huge jam for Bear City. 25 points, bringing their unofficial final score to 356 to 147. So, and there we do have a quick switch over to the final score. Bear City coming out with a commanding second half, taking a big win over Jet City. A game that was so exciting and so close at the beginning. Seen a lot of high penalties for both teams.
We got 1, 2 Jet City Bombers that have 5 penalties. 1, 2, 3, 4 Jet City Bombers that have 6 penalties. We've got 1, 2, 2 Bombshells that have 5. No, sorry, 2 that have 6. 1 that has 5. The one that fouled out. You know, I mean, it's all about the risk mitigation and making sure that you can get there get to the end without getting there to the foul out. So
yeah, we as you said, a very penalty heavy game, but the story here really in the second half, like Bear City just getting their penalties under control, figuring out how to break.
Getting those jammer penalties under control.
That's right. Figuring out also how to break up the walls of Jet City. Just did such an amazing job of identifying what Jet was doing well that stopped them. But hey, we are actually about ready to get down to the floor with PR Armageddon for an interview. So
all right, everybody. Hi, PR Armageddon here, talking to Master Blaster from the victorious Bear City Berlin Bombshells. Master Blaster, congratulations on the win. Talk about this game. First half was really close at halftime. What did y'all do in the second half to make some corrections to come out really strong in the first part of the second half?
We calmed down. Sometimes your opponent throws you a really great game and they're bringing you things that test your boundaries, and Jet City had a really good way of identifying our weaknesses and challenging them, and so that got us into some penalty trouble, and it didn't allow us to control what we were trying to control. So in the second half, we sort of reset and we took a look at what was in our wheelhouse and took control of what we could, and that made the difference for us. For sure.
What do you feel like some of the things you really picked up on in the second half, maybe that Jet City was doing that you were able to capitalize on in the second half?
Well, I mean, they have an amazing jammer rotation, but from the first half, we got a good idea of how it is that they moved. So we let our defense adjust accordingly, and we had to pay a little bit more attention to pack definition and some things that were specifically taking our defensive players off track, as well as their offense is amazing. So making sure that we were getting out of the way of their offense quickly enough.
Talk about Big O 2018 so far for Bear City. Y'all have had a great showing so far. Really, really good games. Talk about your experience so far with the team this year.
It's been a whirlwind. This is our 7th game in 9 days. So we came out of a tournament last weekend, and then we came into a tournament this weekend, as well as all of the travel. So it was very much the ramp up, and now this is essentially the end of our competitive preseason until tournaments. So we've got lots of training and corrections that we get to do, but leading up to this, the Big O has an amazing reputation, so getting to be a part of it is absolutely an honor and a pleasure, and Oregon's one of the best places in the world, so there's not a whole lot that you can say that's bad about it.
Much agreed. Congratulations once again on the victory. Thank you very much. We're back for our next game here on Track 1 at the Big O 2018.